Okay, Biden backs lab-grown meat. This is a headline in a new article out in Newsweek, and it reads along lines like this. In an executive order, Biden said that the U.S. government is dedicated to investing in biotechnology that will advance the U.S.'s food security, with the documents acknowledging the promise of cultivating alternative food sources and looking to improve food security and drive agricultural innovation through new technologies, including food made with cultured animal cells. However, it is uncertain if the climate impacts of lab meat biotechnology industry will lead to fewer emissions overall. A 2019 study from the University of Oxford warned that the energy used to grow meat could release more, not less, but more greenhouse gases than cattle farming. According to the Good Food Institute, this so-called cultivated meat is made by growing animal stem cells in bioreactors at high densities and volumes, which are fed with an oxygen-rich cell culture medium made up of basic nutrients such as amino acids, glucose, vitamins, and inorganic salts. This is supplemented with proteins and other growth factors. Analysis, in fact, suggests that before the end of the decade, engineering biology holds the potential to be used in manufacturing industries that account for more than 1/3 of the global output. That's equivalent to almost $30 trillion in terms of value. Lab-grown meat has been cultivated in a lab by growing animal cells into fully developed tissues. No animals have died or been farmed in the process of making it. All right, so let's delve a little further in this, particularly that last statement. No animals have died or been farmed to make this. That statement is mostly false. The reason for that is not only have no animals died, but literally millions and millions and trillions and quadrillions of animals died in this situation. Why is that? Because, as they mentioned, if we go back, they talk about the inputs that are required to feed those cells. They don't go to GNC and buy protein powder and sprinkle it with some table sugar. You know, that's not how this works, right? All of those products which are used to feed those cultivated cells require monocrops. They require pea protein, soybean protein, sugar cane, beet cane, something like that is occurring to feed those cells. And how do those things get grown? Well, they get grown in a monocrop, and that monocrop kills literally trillions and quadrillions of animals every year. This is the truth. Pesticides are sprayed. These crops are virtual dead zones. And so there's no getting away from animal death. Now, you can use cattle and you can pasturage them, and particularly in a holistic manner, in a regenerative manner, which we have tremendous capacity to do so in this country and others. We can dramatically increase the carrying capacity of the land. We can dramatically increase the yield of the land, and we can dramatically increase the biodiversity and the life in the land. So going to this cultivated stuff, which produces more greenhouse gases, creates more death, is a pipe dream. This is a Silicon Valley money-making scheme to not only strip the land of more of its resources, to further degenerate the land, to further make us sicker and weaker. This is all about money, guys. This is not about saving the environment or any of that stuff. It is all a money-making scam. This is kickbacks. This is greasing palms. This is snake oil salesmanship. This is basically BS. Don't fall for it. Don't support it. Again, support your local ranchers, support your local farmers, support people that are doing things that are improving the environment and the quality of our life. Don't fall for this stuff.
Here's the good news. If the eugenicists win and kill us all and collapse civilization, are you going to be able to eat anything? Yes, because 3D printed steaks, ladies and gentlemen, you'll be eating steak forever. Just get one of those 3D printers. It looks like this.
Your steak could soon be 3D printed. That is, if you live in Europe. Israeli company Redefine Meat has struck a partnership with importer Geraldi Meats to drive European distribution of its new steak carts. The startup is hoping to establish its products as an alternative to conventionally produced meat.
Yes.
Redefine Meat operates large-scale meat printers at its Revtov headquarters south of Tel Aviv. as well as in a new factory in the Netherlands. The company's manager, Jaron Eschel, explains how it works.
I have a library of a few different slabs. I can choose each one of them and I can adjust it accordingly. I can define the amount of marbling. Now I can go directly into the printing process and you can see how the process starts to build layer by layer.
The company makes its products from ingredients including soy, pea proteins, chickpeas, beetroot, nutritional yeasts, and coconut fat.
So not steak at all.
Co-founder and chief executive Eshar Ben Sharat uses his own tyrannical lisp to explain the new type of faux meat his company is launching.
In the past 2 years, we have been working deeply on understanding meat and what makes meat so exciting. And we identified a few components that we can recreate from plants and have the same exact performance as the tissue of animal meat, giving you, with the combination of additive manufacturing, the exact feeling you experience a good steak, a good cut of meat coming from an animal without the use of the animal.
Plant-based meat alternatives have become increasingly popular in recent years. But the early hype about plant-based meat alternatives has ebbed as inflation and recession worries have driven some customers back to cheaper animal meat products. Companies such as the US-based Beyond Meat have cut their sales outlooks because of Americans' distrust in the Great Reset. Redefined Meat, however, has big ambitions. Its new meat is currently available in Israel, Britain, the Netherlands, and Germany. Almost 1,000 restaurants are currently paying about $40 per 2 pounds for its steak cuts. We can see a world that new meat, that's meat made from plants, is a big part of the meat industry. It will replace a lot of meat that people consume today that is bad for the environment and bad for most of the people in the supply chain. Some people will still get to consume high-quality meat coming from animals, but that will only be for our elite master overlords.
Yeah, they will
for
get the
you,
steak.
it's meat squirted from a machine or Klaus Schwab-approved pug burgers. Reporting for the Great Reset, I'm the Tyrannical Lisp.
Wow. But see, isn't that's the whole New World Order slave mentality? Oh, it's meat. It's beyond meat. It's meat redefined. It's not meat. It's just the total lie. It's not meat at all. And hey, look, I'm free market capitalist. You want to make meat, or you want to make fake meat from plants or whatever, and people want to buy it and eat it? Fine, that's all fine. I like steak.
Okay, in the world of the really weird and bizarre, apparently the chief operating officer at Beyond Meat has gone crazy and bitten part of somebody's nose off. Now, the question is why would he want to do that? Now, there's a couple things that might do that. Maybe he's eating a lot of the Beyond Meat burgers and is so malnourished that even the prospect of eating human flesh seemed more nutritious than the Beyond Meat human pet food that he sells. He also may be very frustrated in the fact that Beyond Meat's valuation has gone from $13 billion down to $1 billion recently. So they're just tanking like crazy, and he is one of the principals that is probably basically in charge of this disaster. And so he's probably very frustrated. Apparently this occurred after a University of Arkansas football game, and apparently he was in there and got into an altercation in the parking lot and decided to take a chomp out of somebody's nose. Apparently he was making terroristic threats as well. This is probably typical for these alternate meat, fake meat purveyors and consumers. The brains don't work very well. And it is, it's not surprising to see. Hopefully the Beyond Meat company will file for bankruptcy and be done. I think we can all agree that whatever your beliefs are, nobody should be eating this human pet food garbage slop. So anyway,